The Super Six is set, and each of these teams will face a final series to determine the best all-around retriever team in the world. Carter Turner enters with 3 dogs and will go up against Lyle Steinman, Justin Hergert, and Bobby Wills. One of these teams will be crowned the 2023 Super Retriever Series crown champion. Who will it be? We're about to find out. Welcome to the 2023 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. Hello everyone, I'm your host David Hamilton alongside our analyst and longtime SRS competitor, Rody Best. And Rody, we are here with our final 6 dogs competing for a Crown Championship in the Open Division.
That's right, David. It's been building up to this point.
Absolutely. And this week we are here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. It's been a wonderful week. This city has a lot of history, a lot of great food. I myself ate a lot of it. Shreveport, Bossier City has actually been the host city for the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship for a few years now, and will actually even be back this coming year, October 25th through November 3rd for both the Super Doc and the Super Retriever trials, and it's actually going to be the 25th anniversary of the Super Retriever Series.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what's in store for us in 2024.
Absolutely, me as well. But let's focus today on 2023 final round. We're here in Series 5. 6 dogs competing, only one will be the crown champion. And here is a look at the 6 teams competing for the Crown Championship here in the Open Division. You see Carter Turner there with 3 dogs. He'll be competing against Justin Hergert and Cash, Bobby Wills and Legend, and Lyle Steinman and Hatch. Rody, remind us what the judges are looking for and what they might fault these dog and handler teams for if they do something that they don't like in this test.
The judges are looking for the dogs to exhibit good marking and memory and nice control, especially in this upcoming test.
Series 5 was an amazing test, the type of test that you would want to be the one to determine who's the best dog and handler team. Talk us through Series 5.
So hang on with me because there's a lot going on here. The handler and Bubba Gunners in the boat are going to start the test by blowing the duck call. The dog's in a ground blind and watches the test from there. Bird 1, which is a flasher, comes out from the right to left, landing in the water at 55 yards. The next bird is going to be at the handler's left, splashing also in the water, but this one's a mallard, thrown from left to right at 81 yards, followed by Mark 3, and it's a poison bird. That means the dog is not going to be able to retrieve this bird. They leave it there, followed by Mark 4, way to the right, big swing to the right, 79 yards. The last and final mark is Mark 5. It's a mallard, thrown way out there. Handler picks up 1 bird, runs the blind, then picks up the remaining marks.
This test is definitely going to challenge these dogs' marking, memory, and skills, so let's see how they performed.
As the Super 6 teams prepared for the final test, Carter Turner and one of his 3 teammates in this final series, currently in 6th place, Old Squaw Black as Coal, the dog known as Zeus. And despite Zeus's exceptional skills at marking all the birds, Carter was surprised by a mishap with the handle of the long bird right from the start. Zeus sets the pace for this series, and Carter's time at the line with Zeus proved to be educational with his next teammate, Seaside Straight Shooter, currently in 5th place. Carter lines up Shooter for the short bird. Shooter takes a quick glance, yet works around to make the retrieve. Lining up for the blind retrieve, Shooter's focus is impeccable, and his move across the playing field pays off. Shooter has a remarkable run and picks up the marks. His success with Carter is evidence of their strong bond, and it validates their title of the 2023 Eukanuba Team of the Year.
Range, but he's bending. He's bending that way. Come on, we'll check out. Turn.
Making their debut appearance at the Crown Championship Finals, Justin Hergert and Counting on Cash, known as Cash, entering the competition in 4th place. 7-year-old Cash is a descendant of our 2022 SRS Crown Champion, Mason. Cash, known for his marking abilities, marks all the birds, with the long bird picked up perfectly, setting up for the blind, A big verbal cast from Justin at just the right moment guides the 7-year-old Cash perfectly into position.
Just trying to finish this blind and keep him, because he's got a good chance of really coming in. I call this coming in the front door. In other words, you swim the whole way there and you put him on the peg.
With Justin's expert handling, he puts Cash coming in the front door to the blind. As commentator Pat Burns so adequately put it, Carter and Shooter put on the pressure, and Justin and Cash rose to the challenge. Bobby Wills, the 2010 SRS Crown Championship winner, entered the competition with his sole teammate, the 8-year-old Abby's Blaze of Glory, known as Legend. Bobby hopes to clinch another crown, but this time with Legend, as this team marks all the fallen birds. Legend encounters difficulties past the corridor during the blind retrieve. Despite this setback, Legend managed to cleanly pick up the next 2 marked. Bobby's handle on the last and long bird resulted in some faults for Legend, putting Bobby in hopes of a placement in at least the top 3 at this stage of the competition. With 2 more teams left to run, the competition intensifies. It's a classic case of any given Sunday, where any outcome is possible. Each team is fueled by the hope of securing a spot in the top 3 positions, which would grant them a coveted berth in the next SRS Crown Championship.
4 teams have run. We still have 2 to go, and we'll get to them right after the break. Don't go away. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba, fueling canine athletes for over 50 years. Shreveport Bossier Sports Commission. Visit Shreveport Bossier. And Louisiana Tourism. Explore Louisiana. Welcome back to the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. And Rhodey, we still have 2 dog teams to run, but we've had 4 dog and handler teams run so far. What are your thoughts on their performances here in Series 5?
It'll be interesting between the remaining 2. You've got the new kid on the block versus the OG.
All right, well, without further ado, let's get right into it.
As the competition narrows down to the last 2 teams, the anticipation is reaching its peak. In second place, entering the finals, is Lyle Steinman and his trusted companion batten down the hatches. This isn't Hatch's first rodeo. It's his 4th appearance at the Crown Championship. Impressively, Hatch dominated the 4th series, leaving Lyle optimistic that their momentum will carry them to victory. Hatch comes out of the blind, misses the mark. Lyle knows he has to put this out of his mind and finish the job strongly to have a chance at the crown.
Lyle's definitely playing the left edge of this corridor. I tell you, here's what I like. He's trying to set up a left-handed cast into the water. He's trying to flirt with that edge, but still be inside the goalpost, but it didn't quite work there, did it?
Missing the corridor and attempting poison bird, Lyle gets Hatch over the dike and makes a successful retrieve. Looking towards the left mark, Lyle must handle Hatch, thus taking a fault for a handle in that area. The judges knew the marks would come into play in this final series. Lyle prepares Hatch for this long and final mark. He sets up, and Hatch beautifully picks up the long bird. As Lyle expresses his gratitude to the judges for their hard work throughout the event, Hatch retrieves the last bird, sealing their performance on a high note. This brings up our last team, Carter Turner and El Capitan, Cappy, the dynamic duo of the Super 6. They have been leading the pack since Series 3, holding a comfortable 40-point lead coming into the final stretch. Drawing from Shooter and Zeus, Carter has confidence as he and Cappy start the test. Cappy effortlessly snagged the first bird, setting the tone for their performance. As they geared up for the blind, Carter initiated a quick cast, swiftly guiding Cappy through the corridor.
Way left, he gave him the left. Oh!
And Carter has decided to get on top of the boat.
Look at this. Carter tough to walk the cast out, though. That first step's a doozy. Look at, I can see the dog, I think.
I can too.
A smart move here on the 3rd time.
Now you're going to move.
I tell you, this kid is a brilliant handler.
I wonder if he thought of that earlier and just didn't want to do it because he wanted to wait when everyone else had already gone and then pull it out of his pocket.
You talk about pulling a rabbit out of your hat.
Yep.
On top of the Thor boat, the new type of casting deck, it pays off, and Cappy gets the bird.
Got it. Wow, what a smart move. Man.
Mark II picked up with ease, and despite a hiccup on Mark IV, which wasn't in the plans for Carter, on the last bird, with his arm up and willing Cappy to the bird, Cappy seals the deal. Through the highs and lows of the competition, Cappy and Carter emerged victorious, showcasing their unbeatable partnership and indomitable spirit.
Well, Rhodey, I think we should commend all of these 6 dog and handler teams. Making it this far to the finals is an accomplishment in and of itself. But the biggest congrats goes out to Carter Turner and Cappy, your 2023 Super Retriever Series Open Division Crown Champions. Justin Hergert and Cash come in second, Carter Turner and Shooter in third, Lyle Steinman and Hatch in fourth, Carter Turner and Zeus in fifth, and Bobby Wills and Legend in sixth. When we come back, we will be joined here on set by Carter Turner to talk about his Crown Championship. Stay with us. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba, fueling canine athletes for over 50 years, Thor Boats, Lucky Duck Kennels, Splash Super Pools, and the United Kennel Club. Welcome back to the 2023 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. I'm David Hamilton alongside our analyst Rhodey Best, and we have the pleasure now of being joined here on our set with the 2023 Super Retriever Series Crown Champion, Carter Turner. Carter, congratulations on an awesome year that you capped off at the end with the Crown Championship. Let's start first with you. For our viewers at home who may not be familiar with you, where are you from, how long you been in the dog game, and just give us a little of your background.
Yep, so I've been training full-time for 7 years now in the small town of Blackshear, Georgia, about 30 minutes from the coast. At Mossy Pond Retrievers, grew up throwing birds for Brad. He ran a bunch of field trials, so I kind of fell in love with the competition side of things and, just worked my way up. And now I get to travel and get to hang out with guys like Rhodey right here.
And your resume now has Crown Champion on it, which is quite the achievement. Now, over your shoulder here is a picture of Cappy. That's your dog that you won the Crown Championship with. So tell us about this teammate of yours and what makes y'all such a special team.
So from the first time I laid eyes on Cappy, I knew there was something special there. He was just the dog that was always willing to work for me. It didn't matter what I asked him to do, he was going to do it. And then in the long run, he taught me just as much as I got to teach him. He carried me whenever I was messing up, and essentially whenever he would mess up, he would let me bail him out at the same time. His work ethic was just over the top, and I couldn't ask for a better animal to stand beside.
Now, Carter, I remember you a couple of years ago, specifically Pepper's Pond event, SRS. Never seen you before. You show up with Lee Howard, and I remember running, first couple series, and you learned your way through it and got through. I think you got to the semifinals, didn't make the finals, and I thought at that time, this kid's got a long ways to go. I like his heart, enthusiasm, but he's got a lot to learn. And then last year, barely a year later, you come on the scene, and wow, I mean, you had an absolute stunning year this year. Tell me about that. How did you get so good so fast?
So I was privileged to be able to watch Lee Howard run dogs in the Super Retriever Series many a times, and especially follow the Crown, and I just really wanted it. And so I studied it and watched what all the dogs were doing, and I dabbled in it a few times. I think I run 4 events the first year, 2 years ago, and I just wrote down what I needed to be better at. And that winter I went home and practiced, and I got better, not only with my dogs getting better. I think my dogs were good enough, but it was me putting them in the right situation, bailing them out at the right time, and really taking the time to be a better handler, and that's what made the big difference in 2023.
In 2023, you qualified several dogs for the Crown, and as Rhodey said, had a good year the whole year. In fact, you and Shooter were the Eukanuba Team of the Year, but you also finished second and third in Team of the Year with Cappy and Smack. So you came in with an all-star truck of dogs. Did you really think going into that, okay, with this lineup that I have and with my own improvement as a handler, I might really have a shot to win the Crown?
Absolutely, and I got a little over top cocky for a little bit, but at the same time, I started the year off, the first 2 events, made the semifinals both times with Cappy, but never made a final. I missed, and I was getting a little out of shape, and then I started winning, and I started hitting, and then my confidence level got up, and I said, you know what, I can do this. And then by the end of the year, I was pretty confident in the dogs I had that they were going to carry me. And I knew Cappy was one of my front runners. Shooter had been in the finals multiple years before, so I was like, you know what, if I do my part, they're going to do theirs. So I had a good feeling and took it one series at a time, and that's what we went with.
Now that you've had a little time to reflect on it, what does it mean to you personally to be a crown champion?
Oh, to be a crown champion, it means the world. Just for the effort that we gave all winter last year and all spring and summer. A crown champion don't just mean the best retriever, it means the best team. And I think these are essentially the best retrievers in the country. They are very versatile. They can do the hunt test game. They're the best hunt test dogs. They're the best field trial dogs. They can compete in any game there is.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have more with Carter Turner right after the break. Stay with us. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba, fueling canine athletes for over 50 years, Thor Boats, Lucky Duck Kennels, Splash Super Pools, and the United Kennel Club. Welcome back to the 2023 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. David Hamilton and Rhodey Best joined for another segment with the 2023 Super Retriever Series Open Division Crown Champion Carter Turner. Carter, before the break, we talked to you about what this performance meant for you. Now let's get into the specifics of the actual runs themselves. So Rhodey, without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Carter, you had an absolutely amazing year this year. You had basically you were unstoppable. Every event I ran against you, I knew you were going to be in the finals. Going into this coming year, how do you expect to repeat that performance? You're going to have an obvious target on your back. How do you expect to follow up what you did this year?
Well, the pressure is definitely high, and I'm trying to keep the focus on the dog and one bird at a time, picking it up and carrying one series at a time with them. And I know I've got a very stacked team. I'm adventurous to see what's going to happen this year.
So Carter, I want to talk to you about a specific moment that happened. In the final series, you jumped up on that boat and started handling your dog on that blind. No one else had even thought of that. Number one, did you save that for your last run? And number two, do you really think it affected your overall outcome? Do you think that blind was the winner for you getting on that boat? Did it seal the deal, or do you feel like there was a lot of other things that played into that?
Well, coming into the series, I knew I had to have a good run, and Justin Hergert had done put the pressure on us. In the run, watching the test dog, I was looking for where can I go to get a better advantage. And I noticed the boat, but I didn't really contemplate me going up there. I was thinking go left, and when I ran shooter, I ran probably 30 yards left, and just couldn't get the right angle I wanted there. Still lost him on some sights. So when I was waiting in the holding blind, I was looking, and I was like, that boat has to be the opportunity. And I still was doubting myself. I had to set everything up right. And so when Cappy picked up the first bird and he got on the point right where I needed him to, set him up perfect, and he bailed in the water, and I knew I had time to get in. Even if he came back, which he did, he come right back on the point, but I knew I could finish the blind. And the good blind there was going to set up the good marks. Cappy's a good lining dog, and he's going to hold his line for a long way, so I knew I'd have a good shot at picking up the marks. I just needed to get that blind, and that ended up being a very good point for me.
You led almost the entire second half of the week, series 3, 4, and 5. So did that change your approach, knowing that, as Rhodey said, you had a bullseye on your back for the second half of that competition?
It didn't really change my approach. It just knew that I had to go, and luckily for me, I had other dogs that I could watch and base off of. So for Cappy, he actually had an advantage compared to just my other dogs, because some of the other ones I would have to challenge them to make a move on my other dogs. So, Cappy got to watch and see what the other results were, and I knew I could play safe in times. And, going into the final series with Cappy, I knew I could handle on one bird, and I'm still safe to win, even if everybody else does perfect scores. And so that carried me a long ways, mainly having 3 dogs in the finals.
Bittersweet final question for you here. Since the end of the competition, Cappy has since passed away. Also, one of the other dogs in the finals, Hatch, that competed with Louse Diamond, has also passed away. As a handler that spends countless hours every day with these dogs, how does that make you feel now, having these memories of this experience with Cappy?
Oh, this right here has been just a dream come true, even more so than when it actually happened. And, at the end of the year, we knew that, Cappy was probably going to start running some of the amateur division, especially after I won the crown. Passing just made that so sweet, knowing that my last run ever was picking up that blind and being on the boat with him, just such a memorable moment, and be able to carry that with me the rest of my life. And, when I was running the final series, my kid was sitting at home, and he jumped in the recliner when I jumped on the boat. And, you know, deep down, Cappy was a part of my family. He's lived in my house, is in my family photos, so, you know, that dog goes forever with me.
Well, memories for a lifetime, and those include a Crown Championship. So Carter Turner, congrats once again, our 2023 Open Division Crown Champion. That's going to wrap up our coverage here. Thanks for tuning in. For Rody Best, David Hamilton, we'll see you next time.